If you're looking for a life partner, like I said in my other video, dating to find a life partner and dating to find like just a fun time are two different things, but we don't really discuss it. So I'm gonna share some tips that I picked up and that have worked for me that has led me to a life partner. And I'd love to hear what you think. And if I was going back into the dating market, I would do the same things again because I was able to think so clearly. These rules are applicable to men and women. I've seen a lot of dating failures, so I thought I would share what worked like really well for me and what has worked also for my friends that I've suggested. Do you find that you're wasting time on dates that literally go nowhere, or maybe the person's goals doesn't match with your goals? If you follow this strategy, it should help by reducing the amount of people that are not compatible with you. Hi guys, I really should be practicing for my presentation, but I really wanted to record this video today about dating strategies because I feel like so many more people would benefit from a dating strategy video than they would on a reusable rocket presentation, which I'm still going to put up on YouTube as well because why not? Reusable rockets are cool. I'm going to share this dating strategy that I feel like is a little bit controversial because it doesn't follow the norms of monogamy, but I think this strategy is probably the most logical one that you can do so you're not wasting time and that way you can figure out what you want. My strategy helps you weed out the guys who just want to sleep with you. It also protects your personal safety. That's really important. People don't really think about that sometimes. And it helps you make better decisions overall. It was so easy for me in the beginning to be manipulated and sort of tricked. So these are my rules that I read from books, that I've heard from other people, and I incorporated it. And I say, like, yeah, this is really good. Most people don't realize they're sabotaging their love life because they tend to go with feelings as opposed to facts and seeing what's going on. A lot of people tend to follow their heart and use their emotions and they make wrong decisions. And then it leads to heartbreak. Here's how you can take control, find quality partners, and navigate this whole dating thing. Let's consider personal safety first. You always want to protect yourself and your judgment. So, this is what you want to do. You want to adopt these rules. Number one, no sex until exclusivity. And the reason I say that is because sex really clouds your judgment. It is known already. You can look up the studies that during sex, you release a lot of these bonding hormones. So while you're in the market for a life partner, you don't want to have sex with someone and then bond with them, and then they're the wrong person. And all you really need is time to see if they are the right person or the wrong person, and also the right situation. So you don't want to throw sex hormones into the mix and make you more confused. Do the There's something about Mary technique where you just masturbate before you go on a date or get your rocks off like a few hours before or something. So that way you don't have like that sexual overtone driving you. So that way you can think objectively like, is this person going to be a good partner for me? You have to make this a hard rule and it's up to you whether or not you want to share it. I made it as a hard no, and some men respected it and some men did not. They did see it as a challenge and they wanted to convince me. And that's how I knew I didn't want to date those guys. I still gave them one more chance because I thought, we're humans, we all make mistakes. And let's see now going forward that they understand that this is a hard and fast rule. I'm not gonna budge on this and see how they treat me now going forward. And usually those guys, even if I did give them another chance, they would fall off because they're like, I'm only in this for the sex, stop communicating, and that was totally okay. There was no hard feelings because, I was in the market for a life partner, so I was really happy about that. Another one about personal safety is staying sober on dates. I know sometimes people like to have a glass of wine with dinner, or they like to have a little bit of cannabis, I guess, to relax, but it does cloud your judgment when you're with friends. Say, for example, you get too drunk, you embarrass yourself, and you don't want to be that version of yourself on these dates. The reason for dating is to find a life partner. So you want to be on your best behavior and also then you can understand and see what they're doing and observe and be like, do I like the way this person treats the server? Do I like the way this person speaks about other people? Like, if you are inebriated, you won't be able to pick up all the little nuances so that way you can see your date more accurately. Another thing about personal safety is you want to maintain privacy. You don't want them to know where you live. So never let them pick you up, never let them drop you off till later because you never know. You're dating all these people, you don't really know who they are yet, and would you really want to tell a stranger where you live? Especially if you live alone or even if you have a roommate. I just found that it was better for them not to know where I lived. What if it didn't work out and I didn't want to see them again? What if they became stalkerish? Or, I had that ex boyfriend who like broke into my house, right? So that's like, yeah, don't tell them where you live. And this is nice because if you end up not liking the date, you can leave on your own accord. You're not trapped. You can just get your own Uber. And I really liked having the ability to go whenever I wanted to. I don't like the feeling of being trapped. Another thing about personal safety is making sure you're telling friends where you're going, share your location with a close friend. I found for me, I keep the dates short, don't make them too late so that way you don't make bad decisions as the night goes on. There's a phenomenon called decision fatigue, and you make all of your best decisions in the beginning, and as time goes on, you have less available decisions for you. So your return on investment on like thinking objectively and thinking about this person, how you guys are interacting, your goals and everything, the return on investment on your decisions reduces. Also, I find the longer you spend with them, sometimes at the end of the night, they can convince you to do bad things. So you want to be on your A game. It's really good to have a different variety of friends with different personalities and perspectives to discuss some of the dating observations that you have seen. Also, the good thing about sharing with friends is you have an accountability partner and you can say, hey, I plan all of my dates to be really short. I don't want to sleep with them. I am looking for these characteristics in a life partner, and they can help you keep accountable. The way we are programmed sometimes is a little dysfunctional. And I always say level up and figure out your dysfunctions. You're like a well functioning person and well adjusted person, non explosive before you date. But sometimes you can't get 100% of that resolved before dating. You can get a majority of it. But with friends, you can discuss this guy, like on paper, seems like a good match, but for some reason, my intuition says don't go forward with it. Sometimes your intuition can be wrong, and maybe you're just so used to some type of toxic person. I know it sounds interesting, but I was like that. I wasn't used to being in a stable relationship or well adjusted people. So then when I was with somebody calm, to me it was too boring. But then I had a friend who's like, hey, this person's actually a really good person. I met them over a few times and I've observed them as well, and they have really good traits. Maybe you're just so used to that up and down that this is, well, just the person you just are not so excited. But so what I did was over time, I was able to become well adjusted myself, and now I love it. Now that we're done with personal safety, we're going to talk about this thing that people were like, I can't believe you're doing this. You want to think you are getting out there so you can meet people and see what you like and see what you don't like. You are learning about human behavior, and don't go in thinking that, ooh, I'm looking for a romantic partnership. Go in thinking like, I want to learn about this person. I want to learn about this person's life. The positive thing about that, when I did that, is I met so many different types of people and I learned about their lives and what I didn't like, what I did like. I also learned where I wanted to go and which paths were right for me, what was compatible with my brain. Take it as a learning lesson, and you're trying to meet people, and that person's also trying to meet other people too. That's how I thought about it. I changed my perspective so that way there was like less pressure in terms of, oh, I'm going on a date, right? Like a date seems like a big deal, but if you're going on these like information expeditions, I guess you could call it, you can learn quite a bit about people. Dating isn't just about meeting other people, it's about really gathering the information so you can make the best decisions for your life. Maybe that person will be part of your life or maybe not, but you can get some information and insight into other people's lives and you can go, oh, I don't like that. So I won't do that. Or I do like that and I'll do that. Or I'll add that. You're going to want to date multiple people, tons of people until you're exclusive. This is why I say you're not going to have sex because the goal is you're going to be dating different people. You're going to be going on lots of different dates and you're going to be dating people from different socioeconomic statuses. So you want to do everything on the spectrum, and you want to date people with different careers, different goals, different cultures, and even people that you didn't think you would be dating. But if you're like, I'm only going to date someone over 6 feet, date someone who's not. Because there's a lot of people that are so amazing, have that restriction of like the height thing, which is sort of superficial, then you're gonna miss out on a lot of people. You want to have a fulfilling life, so you spread your net far to see what kind of fish that is out there. And if you don't like the fish, you can always change location. You can level up some more. You can change your look. You can like move to a different city. Then you're technically changing the area that you're casting your net. But honestly, cast your net wide and you'll be able to see so many things, characteristics, phenotypes. Maybe you never thought you would be attracted to a specific person, but then you find out they're a really good person. Maybe in the past you only dated one specific type of person. You just need to broaden your horizons because what is out there? Life is all about exploring, right? About comparison and not commitment. For me, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted, but I really wanted to have like this person needs to be supportive, this person needs to be emotionally intelligent, and this person wants needs to be ambitious because I'm also that. So once I had a few hard things like manners, then I just dated different people because all people come in different packages and sizes, and it could surprise you. And the important thing is not to rush into anything. When you're dating a whole bunch of people, when there's so many people on your roster, I guess you could call it, you're not going to want to rush. And rushing is the worst thing you can do when you're looking for a life partner. Like this decision, like I said in my other video, is so important. You don't want to rush it. While you're dating multiple people, make sure to tell the people that you are dating as well that you are seeing other people because everything should be on the table. Be honest and be ethical. Also, tell them that you're not sleeping with anybody else. When you're transparent, it starts to build trust, and you want to have trust as the foundation of your relationship. Explore a variety of personality types. Go beyond the types of people that you normally would date because you would be surprised. We don't want to judge a book by its cover, and sometimes it is accurate, the judgment from the book cover, but also it could be inaccurate. There are some movies out there that people think that they suck, but then I actually like that movie. So it's all a matter of like what you're looking for and what you need and your perspective. You always want to ask yourself, is this person that you are meeting for the first time compatible with the life that you want to build? When you ask these deeper questions also with them, then you can weed out people that are just looking to have sex. I had a whole bunch of goals and I was talking about that. That weeded out the people that were not as ambitious because they went, oh, this is going to be different. I don't want this type of relationship. And also, I would find people who were compatible with what I wanted and would even have suggestions. I wanted someone that I could build with, and that's how I found somebody. And now I'm going to tell you about the types of dates you should be having because let's be real here. A lot of boys go, let's Netflix and chill. I don't know if that's even the term anymore because I'm old. Um, but you don't want to do that, okay? So here are some examples of some dates that you can do that are very interactive and you get to meet who these people are. So I really suggest dates that spark your own inner child, no matter how silly you may think it is. For example, I went on a lot of dates to the aquarium. In my city, we have this thing called Science World, which I really loved going to. I loved seeing all the exhibits. I loved museums because then I could ask them questions and I could show them something that interests me. And the exhibits change all the time. There's so many exhibits. I love art galleries and things like that, but don't do movies. Don't do movies. Don't do Netflix and chill because that's a little bit passive. You're not really getting to know the person, how they interact with the world is very important. You don't get to hear their thoughts. You're both just watching this movie, like maybe getting touchy feely, and then you're like, okay, getting close to breaking your no sex rule. So don't do that because that's just foot in the door for breaking the no sex rule. The right kind of date helps you get to know each other on a deeper level. So really avoid the movies and Netflix and chill until like maybe later. Any date that doesn't allow for any meaningful interaction, I would call that a passive date. So avoid those. And I already had some examples like Netflix and chill and movies. Don't go on a stoner date listening to music in the car. That's not something I would recommend. You want to opt for like very interactive dates and conversational dates because you want to get to know if they're well adjusted. You also want to know about their psyche, their dreams and goals as well, because this is the thing, you're in a life partnership, you're going to have a life together. Bookstores are great too, and I love used bookstores because you never know what you're going to find, and sometimes it's like a treasure hunt. You can find a book you were looking for a long time and it's not that expensive. Brand new bookstores are good too because then you can see all the new releases. You can go to a genre that you're very into, or they can take you to a genre they're into, or maybe in the magazine section if they don't know yet. Books are such a great talking point. I love self development books. I love spirituality books. I also love cooking books. I love physics books and astro books. I love sharing that with other people and I love seeing what other people are interested in too. I know there's some people saying don't go on casual dates like walks in the park or coffee dates, but I recommend that because when it's the first date, you're wanting to know whether or not you want to spend any time with them at all. And can you imagine if you're stuck on like a 4 hour dinner date with somebody that sucked? I had that happen to me, and I decided before I go on any dates at all, the first date is literally going to be a really low barrier to entry, short date. So I'm not wasting my time. You don't want to waste each other's time. What if you guys are not compatible? You're also wasting their time. That's two people's time. So if it's 4 hours of your time, that's 8 hours, 8 hours of total man hours wasted. So you don't want to be wasting time. It's something we never get back. When I was single, I had 25 dates in 1 month. And some of them were first dates, some of them were second dates, and some of them were third dates, but they were all different types. But none of them were passive. They were all very interactive. And I really enjoyed getting to know all of these different people from different backgrounds, different upbringings, and they had different careers. It is so cool. And I feel like by dating so many people at once and telling them I'm dating so many people at once and not having sex and keeping in mind my personal safety, and I knew some of the goals I wanted to achieve, I was able to find a life partner. Are you ready to update your dating game? Stop wasting time on dates that go nowhere. Follow this strategy and you'll attract quality partners who meet your standards and respect your boundaries. You know what? I think my next video is going to be about how you can get dates because I didn't use the apps. That was just not for me. I need to meet people in the default world in reality before I would even consider going on a coffee date. So, yeah, just skip the apps altogether. I think you can do it if I share my tips. Anyways, thanks for listening. I hope you like this video. Bye.